Well, hiya, BookTube. Bill Ruttenberg here at the Ruttenberg Library. Want to bring you a tag today, and the one that I wanted to do was the Get to Know Me in 25 Questions tag. This is a tag that's not necessarily a bookish tag. It's more of a nosy neighbor type tag, and I saw this on Sarah's nightstand by Sarah, and it was originally created by Maza Booktuber. And so I'll leave the links to their videos down below along with the questions. But like I said, it's 25 questions, so I better get started here. So number one, what's your channel about? So mine is, obviously about books. That's basically all of my videos, except for these personal videos like this. They are all based around books in one way or another. So number two, how old are you? I am currently 41 years old. Number three, what's your relationship status? I am very happily married to my beautiful wife, Amber, and we have been married for 20 years now and still going strong. Absolutely love every day with her. We just have a really good relationship. We can talk about anything, and we have a lot of the same interests as far as just our belief systems and how to raise kids and money management and all that kind of stuff. We have blended very, very well. Now, I will say that we are polar opposites in other ways. I read a lot of books. She does not necessarily, and we're opposites in I talk a lot. She is I'm an extrovert. She's an introvert. We got a lot of stuff like that, but for the most part, we blend together very, very well. And I view it as our opposites help make each other well-rounded. We'll just say that. So number four, did you go to college and what's your occupation? So yes, I did go to college. I went to Missouri Western State College. It's now Missouri Western State University. And I also went to Northwest Missouri State University, and I got a bachelor's degree in education with an emphasis in history or social studies. And my degree came from Missouri Western. I started at Missouri Western, I went to Northwest, and I met my wife and stuff, and we went back to Missouri Western. And then a couple years later, I got a master's degree in education from Viterbo University. I hope to someday get a master's degree in history. That is my ultimate goal, it would just be great to get that master's degree. That's kind of one of my overall, by the end of my teaching career. And by the way, I'm a teacher. I teach middle school social studies here in Iowa, and I have one high school class, and I absolutely love it. Wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. So number five, where are you from and where do you live? So I was actually born in Virginia, in Norfolk, Virginia, and at the age of I believe it was 3 years old, we moved to Missouri, where I spent pretty much my whole childhood down in Missouri. We kind of lived in several different towns in Missouri, but once I got my degree and started teaching, I taught 2 years in Missouri, and then I have been up here in Iowa for the last 16 years. I've been here and teaching my middle schoolers. Number six, looking back, what would you have told your 10-year-old self? I think I would have told myself to read more and quit watching TV. Now, I love watching TV. I love sitcoms. I love movies and that kind of stuff. But I think I could have got a head start on a lot more books. And I read back then, but not nearly as much as I do now. I could have got a head start on a lot of things. And so I would tell myself, you need to read more. Number seven, tell us about your family. So I already told you I'm married. Been married for 20 years to my wife, Amber, and we have 2 children. My oldest is Crimson, and she is 19 years old, and my youngest is my 5-year-old, Katie Bell. And yes, you did hear that right, 19 and 5. We did have a bit of a gap in between, and that's been an adventure in our lives, in our parenting. It's been an adventure, and our kids are polar opposite too. So sometimes we laugh and why couldn't we have had these kids flip flopped and had Katie Bell first and Crimson second? We got lots of reasons for that, but we love them both. They're very they're individual to each other. They're both loving and caring and kind, but like I said, their personalities are total polar opposites. So it just makes for fun times at the house, especially when both girls are here, because my oldest has moved out and has her own apartment. But it makes for a good time when everybody's together. Let's see, number 8. What's your favorite holiday? So I don't know if I have a number one favorite, but I absolutely love the 4th of July. Being a history teacher, I love it for everything it stands for, because American history is my cup of tea. It's what I love to read about, study, teach. So that's one of my favorite holidays. I also love Thanksgiving because I love to eat, and Christmas time is always special to me for everything that the holiday means, and then just the bringing family together, because our family's kind of spread out around the United States. My wife's father lives down in Texas. She's got a sister in Colorado, a sister in Alaska. My family's down in Missouri. So we're kind of and she's also got a sister down in Missouri. So our family's just really spread out. Her grandma and her aunts and an uncle live in Nebraska. And she's got family in Kansas and Oklahoma. But anyway, it's just a time we can bring everybody together. And I always love that because I love being around family. Number 9, you have no budget. What is your dream vacation? Okay, so my dream vacation would be an entire summer-long vacation, and it would consist of 3 things. First of all, I would be on the road a lot, which right now with gas prices like they are, this dream vacation would be very impossible. Gas is way too high, but going along the lines that money is not an object, I would go on a traveling circuit to battlefields for the American Revolution and the American Civil War, and I would hit all of those. I would hit bookstores along the way. I would hit bookstores that specialize in all those areas, and of course hit the bookstore or the bookshop at each of those battlefields. And also I would also throw this in. I would stop at every Major League Baseball stadium along the way and watch a ball game. And how you would coordinate all that, I have no idea. But again, it's a dream vacation, so I'm dreaming here. But that would be absolutely awesome for me. Not for my kids, not for my wife, but for me. So that would be my dream. Number 10, name your biggest pet peeves. Okay, so for me, my biggest pet peeves are lying and stealing. I can't stand them. You talk to my kids in the classroom, I can put up with quite a bit of stuff, but when those 2 things happen, we have major issues, and it's just, they're both morally wrong, and so I just can't stand it when that happens. A kid has an assignment due and they lie to me and say they left it at home. That one happens all the time, almost every day. I would rather the kid just say, hey, you know what? I didn't do the assignment. I hate the fact that they try to lie about it and then think I'm dumb enough to fall for the lie. Anyway, number 11, what book changed your life? Okay, so if we're talking like with my reading life here, the book that probably changed my life is the encyclopedia. And I know that sounds really goofy, but I can remember when I was, probably about 10 years old, and I wanted to do I was really bored at home, and I wanted to do a report on Abraham Lincoln. And so we had a set of encyclopedias at home, and I went and read through the article on Abraham Lincoln, and then I wrote up my biography report, my short biography, and I thought I was pretty slick, pretty smart, honestly. If I went back, and I think I'm positive it's been thrown away, but I'm sure it was probably heavily plagiarized because I had no idea what I was doing. But it opened up my world because the encyclopedia, and just once I got done with Lincoln, I started flipping through all of the other things that were in that encyclopedia and just all of the different articles. And then it started dawning on me how much knowledge is actually out there. And it was pretty amazing. And it really spurred my love of learning. And I read through a few of those encyclopedias. Now, these were the kid versions. They were only about this big, so they're not the gigantic ones. But I read through a couple of those kid versions, and it just, I would not have told any of my friends I was reading it, but it interested me. So it probably changed my life because, kind of geared me towards learning. Number 12. What simple invention improved the world? So now, simple invention. For me, being a fan of reading, I would say the printing press. And it's a simple invention, really. But it changed the world not only in just providing books for me to read, but it also made some major social changes, some religious changes around the world. It was really a game changer. And I always tell my kids at school when we're learning about different things, we talk when we get to the printing press and world history. I always stress this was a game changer in world history. It led to tons of other changes. It had a domino effect, basically. But I would say the printing press. Now, remember, the question asked for simple inventions. So the computer absolutely changed the world, and I would say that the computer is not simple. It's a very complicated machine. And there's several others. I was thinking about penicillin, but I am guessing that making penicillin was a complicated process. There's several of those type of things that I could have put in this answer, but I was thinking of more along the lines of simple, like the question asked for. All right, so number 13. My favorite movies, TV shows. So I love historical movies, Gods and Generals, Gettysburg, anything like that, Lincoln, any historical movies like that. But I also like comedies. So I'm not going to name a bunch of movies that are comedies, but when we talk about TV shows, that's primarily what I watch. So I did a top 5 comedies. I love Raymond. What the heck is that called? Everybody Loves Raymond. I love Everybody Loves Raymond. It's funny. My wife and I laugh out loud at the relationship between the wife and husband. And then right along the same lines, we love King of Queens and the relationship between the wife and the husband. It's quite funny. Number 3 on my list is Frasier. It has a calming effect, and the comedy in it is absolutely hilarious. Number 2 would be The Office. I absolutely love The Office. The comedy that goes on in there is it's no holds bar. They make fun of anything and everything. And that brings me to my number 1, which is Seinfeld, which is the exact same thing. They make fun of anything and everything. It's a show about nothing. And I laugh out loud every time I watch them, and I've seen every episode of both of those, Seinfeld and The Office. I've seen every episode multiple times, many, many times, and I still laugh out loud to this day. I also like TV shows like Law and Order, Hawaii Five-0. I've got a lot of them that I like. Maybe I should go back to what I told my 10-year-old self and stop watching TV and start reading. Anyway, number 14. Describe yourself using 3 fictional characters. Okay, so I struggled with this because I read more nonfiction than I do fiction. But as I got to thinking about it, some of the books that I've read lately, I read Vineyard Stalker, and there's a whole series of Martha's Vineyard books, and the main character in it, solving the mysteries, is J.W. Jackson. And I think I relate to him because he absolutely loves his wife and loves his children. And I'm the same way. And he's very loyal to them and cares greatly about them. And that I feel the same way. I feel like I have that definitely in common with him. he always goes back to his wife and his kids, even when there might be something exciting that he could go do. It's like, nope, I'm going to go home and hang out with the fam. And I really appreciate that. I also like in my John Grisham books, the books that are about Jake Bridgens. And I really like him because I relate to him because his character always has something about he wants to be liked. He worries about what people think about him, and he's always trying to do what will make everybody happy. And but he always ends up in the end doing the right thing, and I feel I have that in common with him. And then the other one that I was thinking about was Jack Callahan from the Home Team novels, which is some middle grade sports novels. And Jack Callahan is like the really good athlete who everybody likes. He's pretty smart, and he's always bringing everybody together. He's kind to everybody. He does what's right. And I feel like, I hope that is kind of like me. I loved my sports, and I was always friends with everybody, and I always tried to make things, smooth things over, make things right. Number 15, what was your dream job? All right, my dream job, my number one job that I wanted to do when I was growing up was a Major League Baseball player. I wanted to play my favorite sport and make a lot of money doing it. And I would even have done it for the league minimum, and it wouldn't have bothered me. Because especially now that I think about it, the league minimum is 10 times what I make now. So I definitely would have went and played a game all summer to make decent money. Let's see, number 16. If magic was real, what spell would you learn first? I don't read books like that very often, so I don't know what the spell's called. But I remember the show on TV where, is it Bewitched, where she twinkle, twinkle, twinkle with her nose, and then, she could flash from one place to another. That's the one I would like. I would like to be able to, just think, and then within a split second, I'm in some other place. And that would save so much travel time. Think about it. I got to go to Walmart, and it's half hour away. Twinkle, twinkle, boom, I'm there. Man, I'm tired. I don't want to be on the road. Twinkle, twinkle, boom, I'm back home. So anyway, I found that would be a very helpful spell. If that's a spell. I might be wrong on that. But anyway, number 17, share a favorite childhood memory. One of my favorite childhood memories growing up was I was in middle school, and Nolan Ryan was in his last season in the major leagues. Nolan Ryan is my all-time favorite ball player. When I was adopted, I got the option of changing my name to my parents' last name, my adopted parents' last name, or sticking with Ruttenberg. I stuck with Ruttenberg. And before I was adopted, I didn't have a middle name. And so I got to pick a middle name. And so I picked William Ryan Ruttenberg, Nolan Ryan. So he was my all-time favorite ball player. He's the guy that I've collected ball cards for the longest time. And I got to see, I guess I also should throw out there that I'm a Kansas City Royals fan. If you've watched enough of my videos, you've seen me wear my Royals hat. So I'm a Royals fan, Nolan Ryan fan, and I got to watch the very last game that Nolan Ryan pitched in at that time it was called Royal Stadium. Now it's Kauffman Yard. But I got to watch that game, and that was really awesome. My dad surprised me with that, and probably the best surprise he ever gave me. Number 18, what is your favorite social media platform and why? Well, YouTube, of course. I don't get on any other social platforms. YouTube is the one that I stick with. I did try Instagram at one time. Was it last summer? Maybe 2 summers ago. And it just wasn't for me. Maybe someday I'll try it again, but it just wasn't for me. And so YouTube is what I have stuck with. I've enjoyed it. I can watch book videos all day long if I wanted to. I can make book videos all day long if I want to. And I'm just pretty happy with that. So let's see here. Number 19. So we're almost done here. If you could pick any book character you could spend the day with, if you could pick any book character, who would you spend the day with? There we go. So book characters, and I'm taking it that we're also including nonfiction. I would pick that character, Abraham Lincoln. I would love to spend a day with him. Hopefully more of a positive day than a negative day. I don't think I want to see his melancholy. I would love to listen to his humor, though, and listen to his stories. That would be absolutely fascinating. And I would love to sit in the room when he talked with other people of the time period, like Frederick Douglass and his conversations with William Seward. I think those would be absolutely fascinating. When he sat down with Grant and planned out the end of the war, that would be awesome. Number 20, what's your spirit animal? I'm not really sure what a spirit animal is, so I'm guessing, the animal that I would fit with the best, and it'd be a dog. I love dogs. Kindness, they're gentle, they're loyal. I love dogs. Number 21, what old person thing do you do? Okay, so I was thinking about all of them. The one that I'd probably do the most, and I've caught myself at t-ball practice doing this, and I only have 2 kids, and I cannot keep their names straight. I was hollering at my youngest, Katie Bell, and kept calling her Crimson in the middle of t-ball practice. And I've done it I don't know how many times. And my wife is even funnier. She'll get into, and she'll want to holler at Katie Bell, and she'll say, Crimson, Clover. Clover's our dog. She'll go through those list of names, and it just makes me laugh. So her and I both do that one. So that's my old person thing I do. There's several others, as my kids will tell you, as my wife will tell you. I've got several other little things that I do, but that's the one that I'm going to mention to you. Let's see. Number 22. Do you have a hidden talent? I don't know if I have a hidden talent. I put down pretty good at reading people. You learn to read people being a teacher, because you got to learn all the different emotions and figure out who's lying and who's not. But that might be my hidden talent. I don't know. I don't have hidden talents. Number 23. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Right here. I probably will be still teaching. It is a job that the longer you teach, the better you do, and it is the career that it's fulfilling to me. It's what I've always wanted to do. So in 5 years, I'll probably still be teaching, and most likely at the same, very high likelihood at the same school district. Whether I'll be living in this house or not, I don't know. Probably, but I don't know. If a better deal came along and we had a way of paying for it, maybe we'd switch, but right now that's not the case. So we're probably going to be right here. Number 24, share an item and tell us its significance. Okay, so recently we had Father's Day, as you guys all know, and my youngest made a book for me. And let me start with turning back the clock to 2008, when my oldest daughter did the exact same thing. They both did it at 5 years old. And so this was my daughter made this for me. And as you can see, she had a whole bunch of pictures of me and her. And this is when she was not very old, and that was my very first Father's Day. And I was working in the grocery store at Food for Less, and we went to lunch at Schlotsky's Deli, and we got this picture. And you can tell I'm a pretty old guy right now, bald, beard and all that, and in this picture, pretty young. So another young picture. There she is hanging out in the crib. But she did this, and I absolutely loved it. There she is with her first bedroom she got to decorate in, what are those bears called? Going blank. Anyway, the Care Bears. Here we are, buying our first house. So we got just a lot of really good memories. And this was, my first daughter when she was 5, and I just thoroughly enjoyed this book, and I go back and look at it all the time. And this Father's Day, my youngest turned 5, and like I said, she did the same thing. And here we are, her first football game. That's that fall after she was born. She was born in March, and so that was in the fall when football season came around. As you notice, I've aged a little bit. We got plenty of cute pictures. And let me show you a couple more just because I want to. There she is in the fall. We were hanging out, going on a walk. And then, let's see here. Them are pretty cute. And so I just, like I said, I love these little things like this, and I go back and look at it all the time. They're fun to keep on the desk, and if you're having a bad day, you open those up. So anyway, this has been the Get to Know Me in 25 Questions tag, and of course that was question number 24. Number 25 is tag some people. So I am going to tag Steve Donoghue because Steve loves nosy tags. And so I thought this would be right up his alley, and he'd enjoy doing this. And then I'm also going to tag the Bookish Bryants, Scott and Becky at the Bookish Bryants. And I'd like to hear from them and hear how they're doing. So anyway, this has been, like I said, the Get to Know Me in 25 Questions tag. I hope you've enjoyed this. Thank you for watching, especially if you stuck around the entire, 26 minutes here. So hope everyone's having a good day. I think we're going to go, it's Saturday while I'm filming this, and we're going to go play some t-ball today. So it should be a really good day. But anyway, I hope you guys all have a good week. And until next time, happy reading.